Hey everyone, my name is Becky. I'm a strength and conditioning pole coach, and I'm here today to talk you through the real basics of beginner pole. So if you're just learning out, or maybe you've brought a pole for home and you're not too sure where to start, I'm going to give you a few pointers and tips on moves that you can learn at home. So I'm going to start with the most basic, which is the step around, or also known as around the world. So something really common in pole is there are a lot of different names for different things. So it might be that your school calls it something different, but either way, I'm going to talk you through it and hopefully this will help you. So as a side note, I am left-handed, so my inside arm that's going to be nice and high is my right. If you're left-handed, you're probably going to feel it more comfortable to have your left hand high, but we always say to try both sides anyway. So we're going to start with the step around. So your inside arm, so for me that's my right, is going to come on nice and high. Now there's a difference of just placing it on the pole with a straight arm, but no engagement through the lat. So I like to reach a little bit high, and so that I can pull and feel the engagement in my lat. And now it's ready, it's activated, and I can use it. So your inside arm is high and your outside arm is going to be across your chest. Now I like to personally come just underneath because it gives me enough space to be able to push. If this hand's too high, you're not going to be able to get any push from it. So I like to come just underneath the chest, wrap your hand around the pole, so your thumb's at the back, your fingers are together, they wrap round, and this is your basic grip. Now in terms of leg work, I don't want you too close to the pole like this. So take a step aside so you've got a bit of space. I like to have my inside foot in line with the pole, but I already have it, so I'm ready to step on it. So I'm on the ball of my foot, and when I say step, all I'm going to do is transfer the weight into this inside foot. I'm then going to draw a circle all the way around and come back to where I started. So I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to break it down for you. So I'm going to transfer the weight into this inside leg. The bigger you draw a circle with this outside leg, the more momentum you're going to get. So you're going to step, you're going to draw a circle, you're going to allow the body to come round. When that foot touches down on the floor, this leg, you can see it has no choice, but this leg is going to lift and it's going to take you back to your starting position. You can see that my hand drops a little bit, that's okay, but we're going to re-engage it. Get your hand into place, step, draw a circle, and come back to where you started. Now it is super important to train both sides, because if you don't, you're going to end up getting muscle imbalances, and it's really going to impact you later on down the line. So once you feel comfortable with that, you can have a little go at adding in a dip. So still exactly the same movement, but I'm just going to step and I'm going to dip the leg. So I'm going to bend the leg to come a little bit lower rather than starting higher. It's just a little variation and starts to get you used to different levels. So as I come around, I'm really going to bend that leg. And as always, do both sides. Okay, so now we're going to add a pirouette onto our step around. So I'm going to show you it first. So we're going to do our around the world. And then we're going to pirouette, which is really, really, really nice. The step around guides you in really nicely into pirouette. So as I come round, as this leg comes off the floor, instead of taking it next to my foot, I'm going to take it behind. So take it behind me, because then what it's going to do is start to pull this hip. And then I'm going to start my rotation. So it's this leg comes behind, and my body's already starting to turn, so I'm turning in towards the pole. In terms of hand positioning, you need this bottom hand, so you're going to release it, and you're going to come to the back of the pole, and now the thumb's going to face down. So you are here, but if you don't change it, you're going to have nowhere to go. You will still be able to rotate, but it's going to be a bit of strain on the shoulder. So if you can quickly change that hand, it's going to give you way more freedom and mobility through the shoulder. We also don't want you in a position where like anything's straining or restricting and then you end up pulling your shoulder. So that's the bottom hand. The top hand also needs to change. So as I come round, so I can see myself in the pole, as I'm about to turn, I need to release the top hand and come onto the top of my hand. So it's around in a normal grip. As I come under, I'm gonna turn it to the top of my hand, and I'm gonna use the top of my hand to push, guide me round, and then I'm gonna re-grab in normal grip. So I'm gonna show you that again. So I'm gonna step, come round, take this leg behind you. See, as it comes behind me, I'm gonna take this bottom hand, turn the thumb down, come under the arm, come onto the top of the hand, push, and re-grab. I actually like to push off that bottom hand too. So as I'm here, I like to push through the top of the hand and push through the bottom. I actually get the most rotation off the push of that bottom hand. So on the other side, we're gonna step, come round, hand comes down, and that's your step around pirouette. You'll see that I naturally land with the inside leg forward, which is really nice because then again, it will lead you into another move. So let's add another move onto our step around pirouette, and now we're gonna do a front hook. So I would advise wearing shorts because you need grip. I've been doing this for a really, really long time. So inside arm nice and high, remember get that engagement, outside arm across the chest. Now I'm gonna hook my inside leg on the pole, but on the diagonal from my hip. So I'm not gonna come really, really high, and I'm not gonna come really low. It's gonna hook, but it's gonna be on a nice diagonal from the hip down to the knee. From here, I need to squeeze the knee and push the hips forward. So squeeze and push. I've got my inside arm high, outside arm across the chest. Now I like to come onto the tiptoes of this outside leg. It's easier to push off your outside leg. So in position, hips are already pushed forward. You're going to allow your weight to come forward. So we're going to come forward, toes come together, knees nice and wide, and we're going to slide down to the floor. So something I like to do with my students before I get them to do that move is understand the move on the floor before you take it onto the pole. So if you're on the floor, imagine your knees are wide, your toes are together and hips are forward. So we're creating this really nice triangle shape with our legs. The pole will be on the inside leg, pushing the hips forward, nice triangle. And basically what you're going to do is just loosen your hand grip till you get down to the floor. So this will not only train your hand grip, but it will help you understand where you need to hold on slightly tighter and where you need to release just a little bit to allow some movement. So inside arm nice and high, hook the leg on the diagonal, hand across, push the hips forward, allow the weight to travel forward. So I'm gonna lean, I can feel my weight in this outside leg. So I'm gonna lean, toes come together, knees wide, hands loosen, and then I'm coming down to the floor. From here, you can pull through your arms, bring your knees together, and then bring the body up. So, same on the other side. So hook on the nice diagonal from the hip down to the knee, outside arm across the chest, onto your tiptoes, push the hips forward, come round. So as you come round, you want to arch your back. So now we can add that move. So we've got the step around, the pirouette, and the front hook. So we do a step around, pirouette, hook the leg, onto the tiptoes, push, all the way down to the floor. Pull through the arms, bring the knees together, and up. So there we have it. They are my top 3 moves that I would teach in a beginner pole lesson. So as a little bonus, I'm going to show you some conditioning moves that I would show my beginner students just to prepare and activate the body and start to strengthen through the areas that we need. So the first one being scapular shrugs, and it doesn't matter if you can't take your feet off the floor. You're going to come onto your tiptoes, hands are going to be nice and high, and you're just going to get used to shrugging and using the scapula. I'm going to show you from behind. So it's a teeny tiny little movement. We pull and we get the scapula activated. Do 3 to 5 on one side, switch. If you can, take your feet off the floor, fantastic. But no pressure if it's your first lesson. We're then gonna start to train a little bit of our core. So you're gonna bring your body in front of the pole. So the pole is now in my armpit and my elbow is pointing forward. So that gives me a really strong grip here. You should be able to feel, if you're pulling down, how everything is engaged. My biceps engaged, I have that contact point, and then my outside arm is just gonna come above. So it's not gonna be really, really high, otherwise it's gonna be a lot to pull through. So now you can do this tuck raise with both knees off the floor, but to start with, it's a really good one to do one leg at a time, just to get a feel for the move and start to understand the engagement. So one knee is gonna come high, you're gonna pull through your arms, and then we're gonna switch. Pull and switch. Pull and switch. Now, if they feel really comfortable, you can do exactly the same, but you're gonna have a go at bringing both knees together up towards the chest. So again, we're gonna get that activation, we're gonna pull, knees to chest. Knees to chest, nice and control. It really works, or starts to work, the abs and hip flexors. Another one I really like to do is oblique crunches. So you're gonna stand next to the pole. This time we are gonna hook our knee nice and high, and we're gonna push the hips forward. So if the bum's behind the pole line, you lose the engagement in your oblique. So push the hips forward, and here I like to turn that standing leg out by 45 degrees, just to give me a little bit more stability through that leg. So push the hips forward. Fingertips are gonna come by your forehead. You're gonna come out to the sides. You're gonna try and come into a nice horizontal line, and then you're gonna use the oblique, so these muscles here at the side, squeeze to get back up. We come down, and we squeeze to get back up. Down, and squeeze. They are 3 of my favorite conditioning exercises for beginners. Let me know if you found this helpful, and I will create more.